to Community Connections. I'm Marnie Yu, your host. Glad you're joining us today. It is February and we're excited. Lots of good things are going on. Just do want to remind you, American Heart Month. So maybe this is a month and as you remember and treat your Valentine to something special, treat yourself, get your heart checked out and make sure everything is working properly. And it could be diet, exercise, a lot of things, but we're looking at, all of us kind of taking a look at our little thing that keeps us going. So again, American Heart Month and celebrating Happy Valentine's Day. My first guest is Deanna Etter. She's at Etter. She's the Director of Marketing for Polara Health, along with Melanie Jacobson, who is the new Senior Peer Program Manager. And the Senior Peer Program is one of my favorite programs that got started years ago in support of our senior population. And it's undergone a lot of things, but we're going to let them talk about it and say how you can maybe help. Deanna, tell us about Polara Health.
Well, Polara Health is a nonprofit organization that's been in our community since 1966, so over 56 years now. And we work with everyone in our community from birth to end of life, mental health, behavioral health. We've got our crisis stabilization unit, and we're in a big growth stage right now. We have now over 400 employees in our organization, wow. And we are moving into some new facilities in the area. So we are super excited about what we're doing and what we're going to be able to bring to our community. And so today we wanted to talk about our Senior Peer Program, which is such an amazing program. But if you need us, call 928-445-5211 or go to our website at polarahealth.com.
Just really quick, tell us where the crisis stabilization unit is, because that is somebody is in crisis and you really don't know what to do, and it's not necessarily a police situation or law enforcement doesn't need to be involved, and this is a great place that they can go and get help right away. And that's right. Located where?
So it's right behind Tractor Supply in Prescott Valley over on East Ridge Drive, and it's open 24/7, and anybody can walk through our doors and we will walk them through what the needs are. So if they need a safety plan or resources, or they need 24 hours just to sit in a chair and gather themselves. So we will figure it out once they walk through our doors, but let us help you.
Amazing unit. So impressed that we have it here in our community. Just another great thing we've got here.
Absolutely.
Okay, Melanie.
Yes.
How you doing? We're just getting adjusted here. That's what we do. Anyway, so let's talk about the Senior Peer Program.
Okay.
Now you're overseeing that.
Yes. The program was started in 2003. It was originally called the Senior Peer Prevention Program because the goal of the program was to match healthy seniors with isolated seniors to prevent the consequences of isolation and loneliness. Typically, dementia and Alzheimer's can come on faster if a senior is alone. Substance abuse, just being totally isolated, it's not good for our souls. So the program was started, and it has grown over time. Before the COVID, we had 75 volunteers.
Wow. And
134 folks who were being given companionship. And what happened with COVID is the whole purpose of the program is for people to be together.
Right.
Based on, one-on-one. And that wasn't possible, particularly with our age group.
Right.
We serve seniors 60 years of age and older. And so the program kind of withered on the vine.
Because even some of those companions, the seniors that were your volunteers, were now affected with the isolation themselves.
Indeed.
And so nobody was able to get together.
Right.
So, okay,
right.
Fast forward 2023.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yes.
We are rebuilding. We are, I have a small list of those waiting to have a match for a companion, a senior companion. And our primary goal right now is recruiting volunteers.
So what are you looking at in a volunteer? Are there some requirements or any special skills, things like that?
60 years of age and older. We do a background check, fingerprinting, to make sure we're not getting someone who wants to take advantage.
Unfortunately, we have to worry about that, don't we?
Yes, we do. And so really it's just about matching women with women, men with men. We want them to have a shared life experience.
Okay.
Growing up around the same time. You all know we're all boomers now.
But there is
So-
different ages of boomers.
Oh, indeed.
You
It's
know,
like
yeah.
25, 30 years.
Yeah.
So we are focused on just getting folks who want to give back to their community. There are so many, well, as we know in this area, the Tri-City, Quad Cities area, 42% of our population is 65 years of age and older. And so many folks come here to retire. They have left their families, their folks, their lives, and they come here and a spouse dies.
Yes.
And they're alone, their children are somewhere else, and they want to give back to their community, and so they're a perfect fit for coming in and making someone else's life enriched.
So, we talk about getting them together. Is it just companionship in the home, or could they develop a friendship and say, let's go to the movies? I tell you, I have a lot of friends that are in that age group, and that's what we do. We do things like go to the movies or we have dinner.
Some of our remaining volunteers have been with their senior for 10, 15 years, and
So it is a friendship.
they become very,
Absolutely.
very fast friends.
Yeah.
We also have support groups. We have a blind low vision support group, a men's group, Women of Wisdom, a women's group, Women of Wisdom, a men's group, and a meditation group. And we hope to expand to have one of our more popular programs before COVID was Singing in the Keys of Life, where folks just came in and the volunteer facilitator played a guitar and they got to sing whatever songs they wanted to sing. Yes. We're also wanting to establish a grief and loss grief and loss group, given how many of our seniors are isolated and have lost somebody.
Yeah. And all these services are free to the community.
Right.
This is a program that we run that's 100%
I just love what you do. Mental health is so important.
It is.
It's creating that's people that are caring about people and creating the
connection.
dynamics of the community and
Absolutely.
serving.
Right.
So
Right.
how
Right.
does we're close. How does somebody get involved with that? I think maybe people are listening and said, I've got time. I would love to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll listen to 70s music in my group.
Give me a call at the Polera Health main number, 928-445-5211, and my extension is 2035. And if I'm not in the office, I'll give you a call back and we'll get the ball rolling. And most importantly, we reimburse mileage.
All right, you heard it right here. Senior Peer Program, Polera Health. Thank you for both joining us.
Thank
We got
you
a little
so
time. We'll take a
much.
short break and we'll be right back here on More Community Connections.
Food. It nourishes, brings us together, and adds flavor to life. That's why it's important to wash hands, surfaces, and fresh produce. Keep raw meat, poultry, and seafood separate from ready-to-eat foods like fruits and vegetables. And cook to proper temperatures using a food thermometer. Enjoy! And refrigerate leftovers within 2 hours. For more tips on safely preparing foods, visit homefoodsafety.org.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and. I am totally a hot person, right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
And welcome back to Community Connections. My next guest is Hedda Fay. She's the Community Outreach and Program Manager for Northland Cares. And welcome, Hedda. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Marnie.
It's good to have you on the show. And so many things you're working on at Northland Cares. And I think many people don't know. So that's why we're really happy to have you on the show and to share what's out there, what you're doing, and obviously topics that aren't not necessarily discussed, but important to know about.
Sure.
So you've got a new mobile unit, but there's words in here I'm just going to fumble over, so I'm going to let you explain everything.
So I first want to talk about our on-call weekend and holiday PEP program. So if
Okay.
somebody has an emergency, like an accidental needle stick, they're the victim of sexual assault, they can call us. We'll get them PEP. PEP's a medication that will...
I think I'm going to stop you really quick and just go, because you have wonderful programs. Let's say, tell us what Northland Cares is.
Oh, okay.
And who are you?
Okay.
There you go. Let's start with there.
Okay. Northland Cares, we're a specialty healthcare clinic for people living with HIV. We also provide curative services for hepatitis C. We've been in Yavapai County serving everyone for over 20 years.
Yes.
We have an office in Prescott, one in Cottonwood. We also provide education on harm reduction, prevention. We provide prevention services, PrEP medications and PEP medications. We also have staff on call. We're the only clinic in the state that have staff on call
Wow.
on weekends and holidays to respond to a PEP emergency.
Okay.
We're in the process of getting a mobile unit. We should have it in April, hopefully, where we'll be able to do testing and vaccines throughout Yavapai County.
So you will go to the locations for the people instead of having them come to your offices and clinic in Prescott.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful for when you're talking about mayor and how large Yavapai County is. That, and not everybody has the transportation that, some of us are used to,
Right. It could be
ease of getting around.
It could be 2 hours to get to a provider or a lab. And we'll be able to draw confirmatory labs on the mobile unit.
Wow.
So that's exciting, and it removes barriers to care for people in rural communities where they don't
Absolutely.
have to go to the lab, after meeting with us.
Now, the PEP program, is there a time situation that when you had, let's say, an accidental needle prick, let's say you're picking up garbage and you're, whatever, we
Right.
do a lot of road cleaning, and let's say you get pricked by a needle, is there a time limit that you need to have the test in order for the,
Well, we have 72 hours
Okay.
to get the medicine in your system. And
Okay.
it's not uncommon for insurance companies to deny it. We're always able to get it covered for people with or without insurance. We keep the meds in our office because a lot of the pharmacies don't carry it. They're about $3,000. So it would be a loss to the pharmacy if they didn't use those.
Right. So you're actually in that business.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
And we have staff. If you ever have an emergency on a weekend or holiday, call 928-910-6707. During the week, just come into our office and we'll take care of you.
So you've grown your services at Northland Cares from the beginnings when it was strictly an HIV/AIDS clinic.
Right.
And many of us going back to the onset, when we first heard about AIDS back in
The 80s, yeah.
the 80s, yes. And then now coming along, and there's it's a live with at times. It's not necessarily the way it was back then when it
Right.
was actually known as death sentence.
It is
now
not a death
people are
sentence.
living strong, healthy lives.
They're thriving with HIV. You can live to be 100. In fact, June 5th is our long-term survivors celebration day.
Wow. I had somebody tell me that probably even if you're exposed, that you will probably die of something else before you would die.
Right.
If
yeah.
you're exposure in this day and age.
In this day and age.
With the medicines and the research that has been done.
Right, and thankfully in our county, we have services for people. We're a fast track clinic, so if somebody is test positive at an event, we're able to start them on medication that day at the event to start suppressing the virus in their system. And we're very happy to provide these services for people.
And the accidental exposures that you talk about, I mean, there's always been such a stigma. And so to educate people, to know, to take care of your health, and we take care of our health in many, many ways. Well,
Right.
this is also part of the total package.
It is, because, you know, people have sex. I mean, you and I are here because of sex, right? Our parents.
I guess, yeah, when you look at it that way, absolutely.
But it's the thing nobody wants to talk about.
Right.
But it is a part of our health, and, you know, how people express themselves, and,
Right.
you know, it's something that happens as mammals, and people can come in and get tested with us. We also do incentivized testing, you know, at events. We test at all the colleges. We've installed condom dispensers at the different universities in Yavapai County for
Yeah.
for free prevention.
Yeah, and I've seen those at the college. The mobile unit, so when do you anticipate that up and running and being able to provide services?
Hopefully by April or at the latest May. And we've also developed some educational cartoons on our YouTube channel where HIV is a character and tells you about itself. The same with hepatitis C and
Right.
our PrEP and PEP prevention services.
Will the mobile unit have specific areas that it'll go, or is it on demand?
Well, we
Like, you know, you'll have a day you're in Cordis, or you'll have a day you're in May, or you'll have
Yeah.
a day in Clarkdale, or something like that.
We'll have a day in Peach Springs, one in
Okay.
Baghdad, one in Black Canyon City.
So those will be listed on your website so people can look and see that they're going to be there.
Absolutely. And then if we're invited to an event, we'll be there as well. Currently, we do testing at events, but we set up a tent, you know, and we have heaters in the winter and fans in the summer. So this will eliminate that and make it more comfortable for people.
Well, I remember when they first started with having the mobile mammogram units.
Yes.
And how convenient those were back in the day. I
Right.
mean, now, you know, it's, again, technology has moved it so, you know, make it so much more accessible. But there was a day when, you know, you couldn't even get that,
Right.
you know, as easily as we do now. So, again, that's
Yeah.
time and progress moving forward. And people like yourself and like Northland Cares that supports health,
Yes.
no matter which part of the body it's affecting.
Right.
And that's important.
Yes,
That's important.
and-
It's something to be discussed
And
shared.
one of the things we're going to offer is COVID vaccines that are the non-mRNA as well. For people that are hesitant about that technology, we'll have both.
Yes. So your website, Hedda, for if somebody's looking for more information, a phone number to call.
www.northlandcares.org. Our Prescott office is 928-776-4612, and our Cottonwood office is 928-649-0833.
And I hope when the time comes and you get that van rolling, you'll right over to the Prescott Valley Chamber and we do a ribbon cutting and celebrate.
How prepared is your family if a wildfire shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or an earthquake? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Make a plan today.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers, so you can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and grandpa and grandma need them.
Thank you, first responders.
We look out for the helpers because they look out for us.
At the end of the day, this is what I signed up for as a first responder, and this is what I love to do. And I'm going to continue going to work day in and day out and providing help to those that need it.
Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Love you. Mwah.
Be safe, look after yourself, and look after one another. Thanks.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to Community Connections. It's time for one of my favorite segments. It is Heritage Park Zoological Sanctuary. Joining us is Diane Cruz and Basil today.
Yes.
So welcome, Diane and
Thank
Basil.
you. Thanks for having us.
So Basil is a
domestic ferret, and they're in the weasel family. So they're wild ferrets and they're domestic ferrets. And so she's a domestic ferret.
And she's adorable. So cute. Well, let's let her wander around a little bit, see if we can have her entertain us while we talk about some activities and events going on at the zoo.
Definitely. So
we keep her over here.
We'll just let her kind of wander around. You can see they have really long bodies.
Yes.
Wild ferrets, you know, use those real long bodies to get into burrows and dig holes, searching for animals because they do eat animals.
And I notice they have quite nails. Quite the nails.
Nails for digging, climbing. You know, they're not real great at climbing, but they can climb some.
Do they bite?
Well, anything with a mouth can bite, and the wild ferrets are definitely predators. We have wild ferrets here in Arizona called black-footed ferrets, which look similar, and their main food is prairie dogs, so they're quite voracious hunters.
Okay. So what is her main diet?
A domestic ferret's going to eat still meat. They're obligate carnivores, meaning their body cannot process non-meat products. So you can feed them sort of a kibble, but it needs to be high quality, to have the proper ingredients. So
I have a question. I have dogs, and so obviously I probably smell like my dogs. Is she smelling my dogs, or why is she sniffing just a normal, inquisitive? No, let's get out of the sweater. Inquisitive little creature.
They do have a great sense of smell, so they smell all sorts of things. But yes, they're very inquisitive, very curious about whatever they can either burrow into or hide behind. You have to be careful with them in your house because they can find the smallest little crack. Anything they can get their head into, they can fit their whole body into.
Oh wow, yes.
So pretty small space.
But this would be the type of ferret you'd have as a pet.
Yes, this would be a pet ferret. They're domesticated, so they do come in different colors, just like most domestic animals. You can find them white, some with a mask, which is a more traditional wild look. Some just have a white face. There's all different fancy names for the different variety and colors.
Well, hey, Basil. All right, well, let's talk about Zoo Camp coming up, because that's an opportunity for kids to attend and participate at Heritage Park Zoological Sanctuary and enjoy and care for animals like this. Isn't that part of the program?
Zoo Camp is fun. We have a spring camp, we have a summer camp, which goes for several weeks, and then we have a fall camp. So our spring camp is coming up. It's going to be March 13th through the 17th, so it usually coincides with the local spring breaks. And we are almost full, actually. We just have a few spots left open.
Sign up now.
Fills up very quickly.
I mean, what a better way to spend spring break than with animals and critters and outdoors. And
it is. It's a great time. It's day camp, so it runs from 8:30 to about 3:30. They group the kids according to age, so we have anywhere from 6 to 12-year-olds, and lots of fun activities, hikes, animal work and visits, all sorts of things. So we have lots of things for them to do to keep busy all day, crafts, activities, games, you know, all sorts of fun.
I keep telling you, adult zoo camp. I keep telling her, adult zoo camp. I'll sign up and
we need to come up with
do my
an adult zoo
vacation.
camp.
You know,
Yes.
can you imagine us, a bunch of us out there? We just love it.
Although it'd mostly probably be wine and relaxing in the sun, right?
playing with the ferret. So you're also taking signups for summer zoo camp.
Yes, all of our activities are available to check out on our website, and you can see exactly dates, times, when to sign up, things like that on our website for sure. But our summer camp goes for several weeks. It usually, again, coincides with the summer holidays of the local communities.
And they're just week increments, so you sign up for 1 week or you can sign up for as many as you want, but each one is independent of each other.
Yes, for a week.
Okay.
So from Monday through Friday, and then you can sign up again, like you said, for 1 or several weeks.
Yes. And are they themed each week is themed and you would do different things?
Not
or
necessarily.
Are they pretty much the same curriculum?
Well, we do try and change it up because we have several that come for multiple weeks. So each week you are going to be doing different things. There will be a different sort of focus each week so that people that come multiple weeks will experience something new each week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So Zoo by Moonlight, do you have any of those things still going on? I mean,
Of
last
course.
night, or is it tonight, or was it last night?
It was close.
There was an amazing moon I saw.
Yes.
And I have actually shared that I've done Zoo by Moonlight, and I loved it. You see the animals that you might not see during the day. They're out at night. It's really a fun experience.
Yeah, a lot of nocturnal animals that we have that you don't see during the day will be out at night. The zoo's open after hours, so it's a great opportunity to come see those nocturnal animals. And sometimes just the animals are curious that aren't necessarily nocturnal, but they're still out. So you get to see lots of the animals. We usually have docents, volunteers that are around to answer any questions anyone has and to talk specifically about some of the animals that are out at night. So we do have that. We have an entire calendar of events, lots of things going on, as well as a new wildlife series that we're introducing this year as well.
And what would that look, what's that like?
We have, it's called Wildlife in Focus. It's a 4-class series. You don't have to go to all of them. They're each a different topic. So we have one of the topics is going to be, if you're new to Prescott, here's what animals you're likely to see and how to deal with them or how to interact with them safely.
Oh, I know, because nobody knows what to do when they see javelinas if they've never seen one before.
There's lots of things that you'll find in Arizona that you don't find anywhere else. So
Right.
that's a great one, and lots of people coming into this area. We also have one of the series is going to be talking specifically about rehabilitation, wildlife, and what to do if you find an injured animal, and just kind of how the zoo is involved with that. Then we also have myths and misconceptions, which is a great one because there are a lot of things that people say, I heard this, and is this true, and things like that. So that's going to be a fun one. And then one where we're going to do a little hike to the lake too. It's about wildlife ecosystems.
Nice. Well, that sounds
So
wonderful.
those
What a great
again
program.
are called Wildlife in Focus. They're on our website. You can look it up. You can sign up as well on the website for one or for all. And they're focused for adults.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Something for us.
Yes.
Sign up for that. Check it out, because I plan on it. Back to Basil. Can ferrets be trained?
So ferrets are great companions if you understand what you're getting into. That's a problem with a lot of animals. People think they're cute and I want one without really knowing what it means to take care of one.
Do your research.
So yes, do your research just like you should with a dog or cat, any animal. They can be potty trained. They can learn to walk very nicely on a harness, which is great to give them a little bit more exercise. They're going to be up at night a lot more, sort of like a cat, so you want to plan on that.
Understand that.
They're very curious, so as we mentioned, they can get stuck in small spaces. They will explore, they will chew and dig. And they
I think she has this whole map, this table mapped out.
She's kind of, yeah, you can see they have a lot of downtime too. They do take a lot of naps during the day. Just like any animal, the more effort you put into them, the better behaved and the better their, attention you're going to get out of them.
Real quick, your website and where they can find all this information. Real quick, we're running out of time.
HeritageParkZoo.org is our website, and you can find all the information. There's lots of different tabs to click on to find information about specific events.
We'll be out there to see you again. Thank you for joining us here on Community Connections, and thank you for joining us, Basil. I think we've got some good shots, and as W.C. Fields said, don't ever, work with animals and kids. They steal the show. So
Yes, she's a seed stealer for sure.
That really is. Okay. Thank you.